My name is Valerie. 3 weeks ago, at a Thanksgiving dinner filled with 50 family members, I did something I never thought I'd have the courage to do. I stood up in front of everyone and handed my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson, a plain white envelope. Inside wasn't a gift or a check. It was a police report detailing their 8-year-long scheme of identity theft and fraud. As I look back now, I can't believe I was so blind for so long. It all started 8 years ago when I was 24. I had just landed a great job as a financial analyst at a well-known firm, earning a decent salary of $65,000 a year with good benefits and my own little cubicle. I felt like I had finally made it in life. One Tuesday evening in May, my phone rang. It was my mother, her voice trembling. "Valerie, honey, I'm so sorry to burden you, but your father's business has gone under. We're 3 months behind on the mortgage, and we're on the verge of losing our home." My heart dropped. I immediately opened my laptop and checked my bank account. "How much do you need, Mom?" I asked. She hesitated. "Well, $2,500 would help with the mortgage, but the utilities are also overdue, and your father needs some medical tests." Without a second thought, I said, "I can do $3,000 this month, and the next until Dad gets back on his feet." She sounded so relieved. "You're such an angel, Valerie. Just until things get better." I transferred the money that night, feeling proud that I could help my family. Growing up, my younger sister, Lily, was the life of the party. She was charming, funny, and always the center of attention. I, on the other hand, was the responsible one. I studied hard, got scholarships, and made practical choices. My parents always praised Lily for her personality and me for being helpful. Being helpful became my identity, my way of earning their love. Month after month, the emergencies never seemed to end. There was always something: a leaky roof, a broken car engine, or unexpected medical bills. I kept sending $3,000 every month, living in a tiny 350-square-foot studio apartment. The furniture was second-hand, and I ate cheap food like instant noodles and canned soup most of the time. My co-workers would invite me out, but I always declined, saying I was on a budget. I turned down a promotion that would have required me to move to another city because I thought my family needed me close by. On my 32nd birthday, I came home after a long day at work. I transferred another $3,000 to my parents as usual. Then I opened Facebook and saw my friends' posts. They were buying houses, getting engaged, and taking vacations. I realized I had nothing to show for my hard work. I had sacrificed my own life for my family, and yet they always seemed to be in crisis. That same week, Lily accidentally sent me a photo from my mother's birthday dinner at an upscale French restaurant. In the background, I noticed a receipt. I zoomed in and was shocked to see that the credit card used was in my name, a card I had never opened. I quickly checked my credit monitoring app and found out that there were 4 credit cards in my name, with a total debt of $450,000. I stayed up all night, pulling every document I could find. I discovered that my parents had been using my money to pay the minimum payments on these fraudulent cards for years. I confronted my mother over the phone. She first denied everything, but then she started to cry and said, "We were desperate, Valerie. Your father lost his business and we had so many bills. We thought you wouldn't mind helping your family." I was furious. "You committed identity theft. You've been lying to me for 8 years. I shouted. She got angry and said, "We're your parents. You owe us. We raised you and paid for your education." I reminded her that I had a full scholarship. I knew I had to take action. I worked with my colleague Tom, who was in forensic accounting. We gathered all the evidence, including bank statements, text messages, and credit card statements. It was clear that this was a well-planned scheme. Lily had also used the cards knowingly, spending over $40,000 on luxury items. I decided to file a police report. Detective Johnson, a seasoned officer with a no-nonsense attitude, took my case seriously. He said, "Valerie, this is a serious crime. Your parents could face several years in prison and have to pay back the money." I was determined to see justice served. Before the Thanksgiving dinner, I printed 2 copies of the police report. One was for the police, and the other was for my family. I wanted everyone to know the truth. I bought a new outfit, something simple but professional, and prepared myself for the confrontation. At the dinner, the atmosphere was tense. My parents were trying to act normal, but I could see the nervousness in their eyes. After dinner, when everyone was gathered around for dessert, my mother stood up and started talking about family and sacrifice. She even had the audacity to mention that I should contribute more to Lily's upcoming wedding. That's when I stood up. The room fell silent. I took a deep breath and said, "Mom, Dad, I think it's time we talk about the real financial situation." I pulled out the envelope and started to explain everything. I showed them the photo of the receipt, the credit card statements, and the evidence of their fraud. The room was filled with gasps and whispers. My parents' faces turned pale. My mother tried to interrupt. "Valerie, this is a misunderstanding. We were just trying to survive." I looked at her and said, "No, this is not a misunderstanding. You stole my identity, my money, and 8 years of my life. You've been living a luxurious life while I was struggling to make ends meet." My sister Lily also tried to defend herself, saying she didn't know the full extent of what was going on. But I showed her charge history, and everyone could see that she had been complicit. The family was in shock. Some of them were angry at my parents, while others were in disbelief. My uncle, a retired lawyer, took the police report and read it carefully. He said, "This is serious. They could go to jail." In the end, my parents and sister faced the consequences. They were arrested, and the legal process began. It was a long and difficult journey, but I finally got my life back. I moved into a nicer one-bedroom apartment, repaired my credit, and started to rebuild my life. I learned that family is not just about blood. It's about trust, respect, and love. And I will never let anyone take advantage of me again.